celebration of the 60th anniversary.
Established in 1956 with a personnel strength of 250, which has now grown to over 25,000 well-trained and equipped officers and men, the Chief of Naval Staff Ibok Ite Ibas noted that despite challenges facing the Navy, government effort and absolute loyalty and commitment of the Navy has been the major driver.
When provided with the needed resources, can take on any challenge that we have.
The Nigerian Navy is doing well. So I can say that at 60, we have lived up to expectation.
The Nigerian Navy Diamond Jubilee Interdenominational Church Service featured a special Thanksgiving session in Abuja on Lajide Bello, NTA News.
The federal government plans to establish an infectious disease institute as a multi-institutional and collaborative center of excellence. Coordinators of the proposed institute told the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Obonaya Onu, that the institute would support and catalyze universities in West Africa to play an active role in infectious diseases training and research. Science correspondent Kiri Anumayo has the report.
Nigeria and indeed Africa need a reference point for research and analysis of infectious diseases. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Obonaya Onu says that well-equipped Infectious Disease Institute will provide the required infrastructure for disease detection and control. He commended the coordinators of the proposed institute and promised the support of the Minister of Science and Technology for its realization.
So we commend you, and we are also very happy that you are working with universities because by working with universities, you'll be able to share the knowledge which you generate through those universities to our students who are the future leaders, those who are going to take over from you as co-chair in future.
Leader of the delegation, Pastor John Idoko, said the institute will provide shared resource to top West African universities as well as critical international linkages.
It will produce world-class research and educational initiatives, and of course, it will strengthen the ability of the local governments to improve health.
12 universities in Nigeria are academic alliance members of the proposed institute. In Abuja, Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
The Victims Support Fund has donated 35 million naira to Dalori IDP Camp Clinic and the 7 Division Hospital for the treatment of patients injured as a result of insurgency attacks in Borno State. Out of the total of fund, 20 million naira went to Dalori Camp Clinic, while the 7 Division Hospital got 15 million naira. Amina Fidi has the details.
First port of call of the Victim Support Fund was the Nigeria Air Force Medical Clinic at Dalori Camp, where Vice Chairman of the fund, Tijani Tumsa, said the visit is to give sense of belonging to victims of insurgency at the hospital by offsetting medical bills of the patient.
We are already running a variety of programs. One is the Women Empowerment Program, which was started last year here in Maiduguri. That is going to be extended. There's also going to be programs to do with agriculture and programs to do with recoveries of public institutions going across the entire 6 states of the region.
Director Medical Services, now Air Vice Marshal Saleh Shinkafi, assured to use the money for the purpose intended. At the 7th Division Medical Services and Hospital, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Onuchukwu informed the visitors that they admit officers and civilians injured as a result of insurgency and assured that the amount will be judiciously used for the benefit of the patients. In all the places visited, memorandum of understanding on the management of the fund was signed. So far, 16 hospitals have benefited from the VSF gesture in the Northeast region. Similarly, Victim Support Fund, in collaboration with Gabatawa, have presented medical equipment to state primary health care for the treatment.
Still from the northeastern part of the country, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, is to partner with the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital in its anti-corruption drive. This came to the fore when a delegation from the Northeast Zonal Office of the Commission in Yola visited the teaching hospital in Maiduguri. Haman Jabani reports.
University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, which was established as a diplomatic tertiary health institute of excellence for training, research and service delivery, has in a couple of years been in the forefront for the fight against corruption by strictly complying to the provision of Procurement Act 2007. It was in the light of this that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) Zonal Headquarters Yola presented the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Professor Abdurrahman Tahir, with a letter of recognition to the Zonal Commissioner, Bello Idris Mafuri.
We are here to UMTH just to commend the Chief Executive of the teaching hospital, that is Professor Tahir, for the way he is motivating ACTU and supporting ACTU morally, financially in the fight against corruption.
He said ICPC will continue to partner with the hospital to better inject anti-corruption and transparency principles at the institution in order to achieve efficiency and effective service delivery. The CMD, Professor Abdurrahman Tahir, thanked the ICPC for the recognition and assured of more cooperation for the hospital's anti-corruption and transparency monitoring unit.
I've been running open door policy. I allow every staff of the hospital to have easy access to me. One should be more thorough, especially in procurement processes. No information should be taken for granted.
To be recognized by ICPC is not a small thing.
And he has been fighting corruption, assisting ACTU in carrying out their duties.
Since the assumption of office of the CMD in 2010, he has employed all available legal means to rid the hospital of all forms of corruption and promote transparency, accountability and integrity in all official transactions. In Maiduguri, Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Research shows that 2/3 of maternal and newborn deaths could be averted and millions of lives saved if all deliveries are taken by competent and well-equipped midwives. However, there are indications that the standards of midwifery practice are gradually falling in Nigeria, and the country is facing a shortage of skilled midwives. In this report, health correspondent Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju examines factors responsible for this and the way forward.
Midwifery is as old as humanity. The practice evolved with humanity, as evident in archaeological findings that showed women in childbirth being assisted by other women, often older and more experienced. Over the years, the health sector has witnessed rapid changes and development, and as nations grow, so it is expected for its numbers of healthcare givers to increase. That is why the World Health Organization suggests that nurses and midwives should make up about 80% of any medical team.
Practice in midwifery in Nigeria by the day is improving. The only problem we have is that with the dynamism in healthcare and improvement and evidence-based practice, we are still far behind.
Nigeria has the second highest debt in the whole world, but for me, we need to invest in our midwives. We're not doing that enough. We need to give the midwives a welcoming environment. We need to have plan and structural skills for our midwives.
The unique profession of midwifery in Nigeria has experienced some challenges in recent times, with submissions that the ratio of nurses to patients in the country is unacceptable.
We are supposed to have about 100 for 10,000 population, the number of nurses and midwives in Nigeria. But as of now, we have 124,648 registered nurses in Nigeria. And it's actually grossly inadequate.
Experts say midwives need space and opportunities to enable it to play a larger role in meeting the Sustainable Development Goals targets in maternal and child death reduction, which the country could not achieve in the MDGs.
I think what's really important is getting the identity of the midwife correct. Sometimes we get muddled between who's doing nursing, who's doing midwifery, particularly in countries where they have dual training. But honestly, if you're sick, you want a competent nurse. If you're pregnant, you must have a competent midwife. It's vital.
To enable the profession serve humanity better and also return to its old glory, experts advocate adherence to the pillars of the International Confederation of Midwives, adequate funding of health facilities and institutions, as well as robust welfare package for the practitioners. In Abuja, Rashidat Mustafa Olabunju, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Still to come in the news at 7, Egypt deploys submarine to search for crashed jet in deep Mediterranean water. Details of this and more in a moment.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link. And be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app. No access to real-time information.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Welcome back, and a little bit more now on steps being taken to tackle the scarcity of midwives in Nigeria. Recruitment and training of midwives, coupled with the ability of government to improve on the midwives service scheme, have been identified as some of the urgent steps required towards tackling the scarcity of midwives in the country. Correspondent Charles Alpha reports from Lokoja.
According to reports, 14 out of the 21 local government areas in Kogi State consistently recorded high maternal and child mortality between 2009 and 2015. This is attributed to the steady fall in the number of midwives in both the secondary and primary healthcare facilities in the state, resulting in undue pressure on the available few midwives in Kogi State.
Sometimes you have only one midwife to 10 or 15 patients. It will make the work not to be effective. Sometimes a lot of birth injuries can occur and complications.
Only one person running from one unit to the other. Sometimes you have labor cases. By the time you attend to one, there's a call on another unit that you need to attend to. By the time the midwife goes there, this one is calling, "Madam, I want to push."
Among factors responsible for the low number of midwives in Kogi State and Nigeria as a whole, stakeholders say include the inability of government to sustain the midwife service scheme, establish and equip adequately schools of midwifery.
What we have had before is going down now because of retirement, because of death, because of displacement.
As part of efforts to boost the number of midwives in the state, Kogi State government, through the State Ministry of Health, is partnering USAID in its maternal and child survival project with a view to identifying, retraining, and replacing those out of active service.
The state governments are the way of making a policy whereby when they train you, serve us for a period of time before you move out. And by so doing, we are going to retain most of our trained midwives.
Charles Alpha.
An appeal has gone to government at all levels to do everything possible to revamp Nigeria's education system to reduce the menace of brain drain in the country. Some Nigerians in the diaspora made the appeal while speaking with Adeyemi Omojala Fatoba on the exceptional achievements of 96 students who just graduated with a Doctor of Pharmacy degree from Howard University in Washington, D.C. The report.
Congratulations to the class of 2016.
In the crowd were Howard University's 96 pharmacy doctorate graduates, of which 43 were Nigerians.
The remarkable performance, which also saw them clinching 16 out of the 27 awards given, further confirmed that Nigerians are known for academic excellence globally.
What happened recently at Howard, even though I don't know any of those graduates, it does raise goosebumps when you hear good stories like that.
This academic space is nothing new, but to be able to celebrate it in a great way is truly fantastic.
I work with the school system. I know the performances of our Nigerian children in comparison with even the American children. The world needs to know this. So promotes the heritage, the things that make your country big. Nobody is going to do it for us. We have to speak up for ourselves. We have to sell what we have because we have a lot.
That being said, respondents say lessons learned include the need to prioritize education and restructure it in line with global standards, while stakeholders also work towards ensuring that the brain drain, which Nigeria has experienced for some time now, translate into brain gain.
And all we have to do and to realize that the people in the diaspora and the people in Nigeria, as long as we get together and work hard and develop our people educationally, give them the tools that they need to survive, that Nigeria will be a great country again.
We need to celebrate them, one. The government needs to recognize them and start to find an avenue for them back into the country, to start implementing innovative ways in their professions.
To be able to have these examples for my kids, for our kids, to be able to say, these are the things that we are doing, this is what we are known for, this is your heritage, this is your legacy, you too can be a part of.
So many of those graduates, including many of those recently receiving medical degrees, to make a decision to go back to Nigeria and to contribute and to be really, truly global citizens, that is, embracing America and also embracing their origins.
From Washington, D.C., Adeyemi Omojola Fatoba, NTA News.
As Nigeria strives to green its economy, attention has been drawn to the need to reduce environmental degradation and take climate action. Minister of Environment Amina Mohammed said this while speaking to members of the Nigerian Environmental Society in Abuja. Aisha Bello Mustafa reports.
The new narrative of the Ministry of Environment is a paradigm shift towards sustainable development.
Sustainable development is about bringing these three important issues together. The social issue that we have been investing in over the years, but then we have to bring in the economy and we have to bring in the environment. And without the three knitted together, then we don't have sustainable development.
The ministry will reinforce the current administration's approach in the change agenda for the environment sector through the launch of a clean and green campaign.
That what we want to do is have two targets by 2019. One, to pick up every plastic bag and pure water and bottle off the street. We're not saying we're going to stop the use, but we are going to say that companies that produce this have an obligation beyond corporate social responsibility, and that we as a people can learn to be cleaner about it. But we have to put the alternatives there, the waste to wealth, the collection, the disposal, the recycling. That campaign needs help.
The national president, Nigerian Environmental Society, said they are impressed with President Buhari's zeal towards environmental issues, especially the cleanup of Ogoni land. They are assured of the society's support in promoting the change agenda in the environment sector. Aisha Bello Mustafa, NTA News.
Nigeria's High Commissioner to Ghana, Mrs. Adekunbi Shanaike Ayodeji, has urged the media to always verify their facts before publishing to avoid friction between Nigeria and Ghana. This comes on the heels of a widely publicized report of a 32-year-old Nigerian who allegedly registered to vote in the Ghanaian presidential and parliamentary elections coming up later in the year. Cordelia Ukoma has that report.
Precisely on the 16th of May, news broke about an alleged 32-year-old Nigerian, Evangelist Vandal, who unlawfully got himself registered to vote in the oncoming November presidential elections during the just concluded limited registration exercise. The report made headlines in the newsprint, the radio, television, and even online. The acting High Commissioner says the country has a right of reply. According to the acting High Commissioner, it was in the process of trying to provide consular services to the arrested alleged Nigerian that it was discovered that he is not actually a Nigerian.
To get to the police station, he said he's not a Nigerian. The findings came out, and definitely they will have used all the information when the findings came out that the man is not a Nigerian.
The acting High Commissioner recounted that since independence, Nigeria and Ghana have maintained cordial relationship in various sectors of the economy, adding that she will want that relationship to remain the same.
Peaceful coexistence is what they are here for. Economic empowerment, improvement of their livelihood, at the same time promoting the cordial relation that is existing between Nigeria and Ghana.
From Accra, Ghana, Cordelia Okwoma, NTA News.
Now for stories focusing on the global scene, here is Ede Ago.
Egyptian government has deployed a submarine to search for the flight data recorders of the missing Egypt Air. President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi said in his first public comments on the crash that all was being done to retrieve the two boxes. The Airbus A320 was en route Paris to Cairo with 66 people aboard when it vanished from radar early Thursday. Investigators say smoke was detected in various parts of the cabin 3 minutes before it disappeared. Egypt's civil aviation minister has said the possibility of a terror attack was stronger than technical failure. Afghanistan's spy agency has confirmed that Taliban leader Mullah Akhtar Mansour has been killed after U.S. targeted him in a drone strike. The drone targeted his vehicle in a remote area of southwest Pakistan near Afghan border on Saturday. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said Mansour had posed a continuing imminent threat to U.S. personnel. Mansour assumed leadership in July 2015, replacing Taliban founder and spiritual head Mullah Mohammed Omar. The Afghan National Security Directorate said on Sunday that Mansour had been killed in the Dalbandin area of Balochistan province, the first official confirmation of the killing. Turkey's incoming prime minister said on Sunday that his top priority was to deliver a new constitution to create an executive presidency, giving President Tayyip Erdogan the broad powers he has long sought. As delegates from the ruling AK party unanimously elected Transport Minister Bilal Yildirim as their new leader and therefore the next premier, Yildirim left no doubt that he will prioritize the policies closest to Erdogan's heart. An ally of Erdogan for 2 decades, the 60-year-old was the sole candidate at the special congress called after Hamid Davutoglu said he would step down this month following weeks of public tension with Erdogan.
Sports now, and football's world governing body FIFA has congratulated former Super Eagles captain Joseph Yobo for his service to the popular game ahead of his testimonial game. In a letter to the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, FIFA President Gianni Infantino sent his best wishes to Joseph Yobo for his future activities. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Football Federation has released Super Eagles skipper John Mikel Obi and his assistant Ahmed Musa to honor Yobo in the testimonial game coming up on Friday. This leaves them out of the international friendly with Mali in France on the same day. The Joseph Yobo International Testimonial Game, slated for the Adoke Amese Maka Stadium, Port Harcourt, will feature a Team Joseph Yobo comprising Super Eagles players of Yobo's generation and a rest of the world squad. And that's it on the news at 7 on NTA International. We thank you for watching. My name is Kandi Daniel.